Hello everybody, welcome to episode 2 of our free masterclass on loose leash walking. I'm so excited to teach this all with you and share with you all the fun things today. We went over a bunch of fun things yesterday on yesterday's episode. So make sure you go check out episode 1, and this is episode 2. We're gonna add in a bunch more games to play that you can do inside. They're gonna have a massive effect on your loose leash walking skills. So don't check out on me. I know you're thinking, oh, but there's no leash involved. There's still a leash involved, but we're doing it inside. And these are things that you're gonna do that are gonna have a insane level of value on your loose leash walking. It's gonna have a massive impact. These are things that not enough people do with their loose leash walking. And these are things that are gonna have a huge effect instead of just bringing your dog out on a leash where you're probably just stuck in a rut. These are the things you need to do to get out of that rut. All right, so stick with me as we go over some huge, awesome games. Now, don't forget about yesterday's games that we went over, like giving into leash pressure and teaching middle, things like that. All the games went over yesterday. Don't forget about them. They're huge. They play a massive role in your success. So we'll do a quick mini recap on those, and then we'll add in a couple more, okay? So these are things I want you to be working on with your dog. And in case you were wondering what we're using a Blue 9 balance harness, and I'm typically using the front clip, but it has a front chest clip and a back clip. And I use a leash from Halti that I can clip on the chest and the back if I want to. It has a double clip, or I can shorten it because there's all these little loops on it. So I can make it multiple lengths, and I usually like it at this length. But for a lot of big dogs and stuff, it can be nice to clip the chest and the back, things like that. So that's the equipment I use, and I use this because it doesn't cause any strain on their neck, shoulders, or back. That's why I love this harness. And if they pull towards something, I do the chest, and they just come back towards you a little bit, but without anything too adversive or anything about it. They just come back to you. It gives you a little more strength in the situation so they don't pull you over, things like that. So I love using harnesses with a chest clip. Now, for the first game, free. We went over given to leash pressure yesterday, so don't forget about that game where we toss a treat out. We're just gonna do a quick recap on it. Toss a treat out, wait for them to naturally look at you. Yes, bring them around and get it. And send them to go get it. In time, you might change that get it word to a different cue, which means, hey, you can go interact with that. You know, you can interact with mom now. You can interact with whatever that is. You can go chew on that stick now that I was having you leave. So you might change the word from get it to something else if you want to. It's kind of a permission cue. Now you can go get the thing. Show you one more time. Toss a treat. You hold the leash short so they don't jerk themselves around. You just toss it out a little bit like this. Wait for them to check in with you naturally. And we'll mark it with a Y-E. Yes! And then get it. Point it out to them. Let them get it. So that's giving into leash pressure, which is a huge game for teaching dogs to want to actually give into that leash pressure instead of keep pulling, along with the shapes walking, which is a huge segment of yesterday's video. And then also teaching the middle is something else that's really big. Teaching them a cue of Fitzy, middle. Ooh. Yes, nice. Which is a stay. It's a safe place for them. For sometimes it can be like a spot you walk with them too. We're not up to that yet, but middle, yes. And we can kind of like walk together in our calm, safe spot. Free. It can also just be a spot you go off to the side. Like, ooh, what's that over there? Around, middle, yes. And we have our safe spot. They know that their job is hanging out. It's a stay without saying stay. We're building it up, intermittently rewarding. Free. Then you want to release them from it when they can do whatever they want. All right, so that's middle. Definitely another thing you want to continue working on, which we covered yesterday a little bit too. Now, for games today, we're going to want to do things that we can do around the house that are super simple, and I want to really focus on disengagement. So we got a game where we can... You're going to take a handful of kibble, treats, whatever, and you are going to, down, good. We're going to cover them up with our hand like this, right? And right when they disengage from it and hold back, we flick them one of the treats, all right? Your dog might be going kind of nuts on your hand right now. Wait for them to just back off us for a sec and then flick them a treat. This, think of it as a cage and the treats as mice. Okay, we're caging them. We don't even want to let them lick it, but when they withhold, we let a mouse out of the cage, flick it right to them. Suicide mice. Who would have thought? You get the reward as long as you hold back. Similar to teaching a leave it, but they get the reward. Good job, Fitzy. And see how he just totally disengages and calm about it? That's exactly what we want. So this is a game I would highly recommend playing in the house, practicing it. You can practice it on a bed, on any smooth surface ground. Practice it in the driveway, things like that. Practice it wherever you can, and you will start getting that better disengagement in multiple environments. So that's a huge game to play. Another game I love to play is the airplane game, where we can bring it down like we're feeding a baby. And they pop up. Yeah, I know, it's exciting. Yes. We're not trying to tease them. Big thing about this game, the goal is not to tease them, but we bring it back up if they pop up at us. You should be in the game now. Maybe I can make a sound again. The sound gets them every time. Nice job. The sound is a little more advanced. Don't do the sound, you naughty. Don't do the sound to begin with. You can add that in a little bit later. For right now, just stick to bring it down. You might even just come down straight. At the moment that they try to jump up at your hand, just pull back a little bit. You don't need to go like, oh. You don't need to do anything crazy. Just sit. Pull it back a little bit if they jump up. Yes, nice job. Very good. It's just a simple game that helps with self-control and calmness and not just going for it. Hey, it's coming to you, man. You don't need to go at everything in life, which if you notice on a walk, dogs a lot of times that are struggling are going towards everything in life. So that cage, the mouse game, airplane game, giving into leash pressure. Notice a theme here, withholding from our initial impulses and having some self-control instead of just engaging with everything. Okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Hey, let's approach the world a little more calmly. So we're doing all these games to put tools in the back pocket that you can pull out. We're preparing them to be able to handle their lives instead of just going into the moment and let's just see what happens, which is what we're typically doing on leash walking. We just go out and hope for the best. These are the skills that you can build that actually that build real life results with your dog. Now, the other massive game we're going to go over today that I really, really, really want you to practice, and we're going to have some more on the next episode when we go back outside, but this is a great indoor game to play. Actually, I got 2 more games. 2 more games. We can do 2 more because it's fun. So 2 more games. One of them, attention sound. Okay. Sounds crazy. But a lot of people spend their time saying, leave it, no, knock it off. Or they say their dog's name and they use it in a negative light. Let's ditch the negativity as much as we can. It's hard as a human. I get it. I know. I'm trying to ditch the negativity, though. It's a new year, new you. Let's have fun. So we want to have an attention sound. So my attention sound is, yes, nice job. So, yeah, good. Something that sounds weird, crazy, and redirects them towards you, redirects them away from something else, want them to snap their head back to you, add value to it. So you want to actually practice this before you're in the situation. The situation being like you're on a walk, your dog sees another dog or a person or a bike or a car or a skateboard or anything that they might react to or pull towards or want to say hi to or just kind of be nuts about, a squirrel, whatever. Let's have an attention sound that we're building up at home, in the house, in the backyard, in the front yard, in the hall, in different areas of the house, and then on your walk. We can see, yes, nice. You might add a few rewards to that, build up value. You want to make that attention sound a really cool thing that they go, oh, yeah. I want to check in with my person. It's always a cool thing. People have a hard time saying in a negative way, right? A lot of times people mess up their recall word because they're always saying it in a negative way. They mess up the dog's name because they're always saying it in a negative way. And the dog doesn't have a lot of value. And like that word means not so good stuff all the time. Hard to make an attention sound, yay, into a negative. So you have it in your back pocket. Same with touch, yes. Hand touch, awesome for that too. Most people don't say touch in a negative way. So it's a great thing to have in your back pocket so you don't screw it up sometime if you're feeling frustrated. So just a little tidbit to get away from that negativity. We got to be practicing for that though, right? We got to have that in our back pocket. And then the last game we're going to go over today, huge, is A to B. We're going to have A is the top of the leash here where you're holding it. B is where they're clipped basically. So we're going to go A to B, right? And this is going to help us maneuver away from things. All right, so we're walking. We need to get away from a thing. Imagine him pulling over there. We can go whoop, A to B. Reward, reward, reward. And then we can get away. So imagine like you see the off-leash dog running up to you. Ooh, it's at a distance. I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, well, that's a bear over there. Oop, let's A to B. Let's get away from that. Reward, 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 and get out. So you wanna actually practice this in the house and then practice it outside in different rooms of the house, and then practice it on your walks. So you're just walking and you're already doing those directional changes. So it just come kind of naturally, and you can do a quick little A to B where you do a slide down. Whoop, let's get out of here. Boom, 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 reward, reward, reward. And then it's not a negative when you get out of it, because in those situations, a lot of times you're kind of stressed. You see a thing that stresses you out, it might be stressing your dog out. So let's prep for it, make it a positive so it's not such a big deal when the moment happens, and we can get out of Dodge without so much stress. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 2 of our masterclass on loose leash walking, where we're teaching our puppy Fitz how to be a better member of society. And through this one, we're working all on leash skills and disengagement games and so many things that go along with it. So today's episode covered things that are going to help you out a ton with a lot of aspects of life. These are games you can play that are just going to start affecting loose leash walking, even though you're doing it inside, which is super cool. So you can still practice loose leash walking even when you're not going on a walk. Super, super cool. If you got value from this, if you're enjoying the series, please let me know in the comments. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Let me know in the comments, though, what you're excited to see coming up here. Let me know if you're getting some transformation happening. Let me know all the things in the comments. We're super excited to hear from you. We'll see you in the next episode.